taking that plea was a smart move. In certain cases, it's no need to take it to trial. What's going on, everybody? It's your girl B Octavia, and I am clocking the fuck in. Now today we will be talking about No Savage and the update in his case. You know, his case is now over and done with. He has a sentence. If you do not know me, my name is B Octavia. I am 26 years old from Washington, D.C. and this here is my channel. Now, I talk about a lot of stuff that's going on in my city. The next few videos will be me updating y'all on cases that I've talked about already. But it's not just about DC. If you knew, you might think so, but nah. So if you don't know, Noah Settles, aka No Savage, is a rapper from 37th Street Southeast. 37th Street has become, it's not like, you know, world renowned like O Block, but Shy Glizzy as well as No Savage have put on for 37th for years. You feel me? Even prior to being famous, you know, standing around in the hood on man shit. That's what they call it. But anyways, No Savage was in a mild altercation that turned into shots ringing out in a mall. No Savage was in a mall with a few of his friends, and he started to get harassed by another group of young men. The backstory to it is a long stemming beef between hoods that we not even gonna get into, because all these hoods in DC been beefing for decades upon decades, and it's never been in my hands. You feel me? So that's what they like to do. They like to beef. They like to go back and forth on social media, and then when they finally see each other, it just spills out in a messy way, just like this. On Father's Day 2 years ago, this incident happened, and all of these young men, especially the ones that have kids, should have been at home with their kids, and the ones that didn't have kids should have been at their parents' house saying Happy Father's Day to their father. You know what I mean? But regardless of the fact, they was all in the mall, got into it. The other group of young men started to film No Savage, and No Savage had just dropped a tape, and it's a damn good tape. You feel me? And a lot of the songs on there is giving certain advice. You feel what I'm saying? And I feel like he should have took his own advice, knowing that he's in a situation where a lot of people is going to try to trick him out of his position. It don't even have to be the police per se trying to trick you out of your position. It's a lot of other people that don't have the same talent as you. No Savage opened fire in Tysons Corner Mall. That is a mall where a lot of people come from all around the world. And, you know, nobody was hit, thank God, but a few people did get injured as they was running away and trampled and this, that, and the fourth, but nobody got killed, thank God, I should say again, because that was just really bad. At first, when I saw the headlines, I was like, how could y'all possibly know that this was No Savage that did this? And then surveillance came out, and the picture was on the wanted thing, and I was like, oh, that's him. Oh, God, that's him. So he turned himself in maybe a few days or a week later. He got a lot of felony charges for this, not just opening fire in an occupied building, but he was on probation at the time. No Savage entered a guilty plea for 4 felony charges. He also agreed to 10 years of probation, as well as never being allowed to go into Tysons Mall again. And this is the thing, like, my point of view working at Tysons Mall is I see a lot of young men that come in there and their intentions is just to like walk around. Like, whether they have money or not is not, you know, I'm not concerned about that. My thing is like wasting your time walking through a mall, especially just looking in a way where you still in the hood, like ski mask, this, that, and the fourth. It's just played out. Like, if you don't have a reason to be in the mall, you're not buying anything, you're just with your mans, is not a good enough excuse. You know, it's not something to do, really. But regardless of the fact, I'm glad that No Savage didn't take this to trial. And I think that the opposition side should be glad that he didn't take this to trial either, because they would have been called upon, because it was a situation that they were involved in, and that's why this shooting happened. I think that the beef should be over at this point, because whether they realize it or not, No Savage could have got them wrapped up in this case just as easy. Those guys got to just walk free. They should feel blessed and just stop doing stupid. You know, the whole bully mentality, it will get you shot. And they better be glad that he wasn't a good enough aim that day, because going about things in a way where you're filming somebody and you're constantly harassing them and laughing at them and this, that, and the fourth, you're giving bully energy, right? That shit is for high school and grade school, period. That shit should be left in the schoolyard. So the life expectancy of people that continue to do things like this in their 20s, it's not that long. It's not that many years that people like that are gonna walk freely, are gonna have the opportunity to just, you know, be alive, period. No Savage was sentenced to 3 years, and mind you, he already did like 1.5 or 2. So I feel like he'll be out in the next few years. That's why taking that plea was a smart move. You know, you don't, in certain cases, it's no need to take it to trial. I feel like some people, and that's a sign of maturity, to be honest with you. Some people really believe that they can beat it if they go to trial. Versus, you know, in some cases it happens. But most of the time, you end up getting a lot more time if you take it to trial versus taking a plea, accepting responsibility, and just getting it put behind you. Just going through the process, holding yourself accountable, and taking the minimum. And again, he was facing around 33, some news articles I saw 40 something years behind bars for this scenario and for being on probation and whoop-de-woo. So 3 years as a minimum is damn good. He'll get out in enough time where he'll still be able to see his child grow. And hopefully in this process, he's grown the most mentally, because DC's culture is backwards. It's backwards, especially with the young men. A lot of them, they dress the same, they act the same, all the while not even thinking about getting the same result that others that are in the grave have gotten. It's quite ridiculous. And it's quite played out. I feel like a lot of these young men need to find their own identity. Because at the end of the day, what you feel like you have to do to prove to DC that you are what you say you are is not in actuality what you have to do. And above anything else, I hope that a lot of people learn from this, but especially No Savage learns the power in his talent and what that power will make other people do. It's going to make people want to trick you out of your position at every single minute of your day. whether it be on social media, in person, it's always going to be something. So you got to find that balance. He has to find that balance where he can really foreshadow some shit. Because the people that provoke, they're either going to be hiding behind their cameras or they're going to leave untouched. You'll be the one to get arrested or shot and killed just because they're that jealous. I predict that he's going to get out and he's going to continue on with having a successful career. I'm glad that he didn't sign to somebody that was like a really big label, because they would have dropped him. To be honest, they would have dropped him. He's more of a liability to them than anything, right? And nobody wants this type of stuff plastered, and tied to their label. I'm glad that he didn't sign with somebody big. He signed with somebody that can understand what he's going through. He's been through, Shy Glizzy himself has been through certain things where people tried to trick him out of his position. So I feel like he's going to get out and continue on having a successful career, and he's going to have a lot more advice in his music, a lot more lessons in his music. It's going to help him and all of his fans. Now, to end this video off, for the remaining time that No Savage is in jail, prison, whatever the fuck you want to call it, jail. If you would like to put something on his books or send him a letter or what have you, I will put the information up here on the screen, and also I will put it in the description. We ain't got to say free him, because they going to free him soon. You feel what I'm saying? I don't like that whole free this, free that. Let him do his time. He going to get out a better man. It's your girl, B. Octavia. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching. And I will see y'all in my next one, which will be very soon. I can promise you that.